passion, spiritual insight, shining bright, truth and guidance for your life. Yeah, when your heart meets the light, your soul comes alive. It's time to rise. It's just the sound of your heart in tune. Pearl's voice like a rising moon. Ooh, shining divine.
Welcome to the Pearl Hale Show. Come in the room. I want you to click and subscribe. We are talking about having a clear vision, making your vision clear. So much can be said about vision, and we're here. If you are on the line tonight, you don't want to miss it. I'm your host, Pearl Hale. I am a life transformational coach. I want you to join me on Pearl Hale Show Transformational Speaks. This is another episode to help us get better. Life changes equals life transformation. And we're going to get started here. It is so interesting when we talk about vision. When we talk about the vision, very famous passage of scripture biblically, it comes from Habakkuk. Habakkuk was going on and on to God about the injustices that were happening in Judah. And God gave him a vision. What do you want to see? What do you want to see come to pass? And so he writes, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that read it. That's Habakkuk, the second chapter and the second verse. It's so important that when you have an idea that you write it down, which is your vision. Now, we're going to talk about what exactly is vision. You know, again, in this passage, God gave Habakkuk instructions on writing down what it is that he wanted to see. He wanted to see justice. So, though it tarry, he had to have patience by writing it down and doing actionable steps. What can I do to help the world be a place of justice? I have to write these down and I have to take actionable steps. Thank you so much for joining me on the Pearl Hale Show. We're talking about make your vision plain. And not only make it plain, but we want to share with you, what does vision really mean? You know, you hear that term used all the time. A vision is just more than a dream. It's a clear picture of your future. See, when you write down your vision and when you have a vision, you're not meandering. It gives you direction. It gives you purpose and it gives you a focus. So you're focusing in. Without a vision, you'll start meandering instead of moving with intention. And that's where you want to be in life, where you want to move with intention. Now, a lot of times people say, well, why is it important? Clarity is very important because clarity eliminates confusion, calamity, and being overwhelmed. And I can't tell you how many times in life things can become overwhelmed when we don't balance, we don't write down actionable steps. When you don't write down, at this time of the day, I'm going to do this. At this time, I'm going to do that. And so it stops you from being all over the place. So, and it also, a clear vision helps you make better decisions faster. You ever notice when you're going someplace spontaneously, let's say you go to the supermarket, you don't have a clear vision. What am I going to get? Eggs, bread, milk. What am I? You tend to be in the store. You don't know what you're going to get. You tend to just wander all over the place and take more time and pick up more items than you need. Who's been there? Yes, you're preaching. I'm preaching to the choir. I've been there. When I don't have things clearly written down, what are you going to the supermarket for? What's the purpose? Okay. Um, I need to make some vegetables for dinner. What type of vegetables do you want for dinner? Um, I don't have them in my freezer. Okay, so I have to run to the store and get it. So if I know I'm only going for that one thing, I'm not going to be picking up a whole bunch of stuff at the same time. So it helps me clarify decisions faster. Also, because I'm clear, I know that I'm not going to get a license in to be a medical doctor when that is not my vision and that's not my focus. Or trying to be an engineer when that is not my gift or that's not my focus. If I'm clearly writing down what type of um, assignment that's for me, vision that's for me, I'm clear about the direction I'm going in. I'm not trying to be like Susie. I'm not trying to be like Jan. I'm not trying to be like Billy. I'm trying to work the vision that God has for me. What is my assignment on this earth? Because I have clarity on what it is that he called Pearl Hale to do, and because you have clarity on what God has called you to do, it makes it easier to know what steps you need to take. I'm chatting it up, chatting it up, chatting it up, chatting it up. We're talking about make your vision plain. In this season of graduation, of making decisions, of wanting to know what is my next move? What are some things that I need to change? What are some things I can improve upon? So I need to write these things down so my vision can become plainer. And don't touch that dial. Listen, years ago, I had a vision to write a book about my many experiences with people from all walks of life who had all types of trauma, brokenness, bruised to be used, that thing that came to break you, or that thing that was so harsh. What if I suggest to you that God can use the very things that came to break you, to make you, and use you as a powerful tool to bring healing to others? I want you to pick up a copy of my book, Bruised to be Used. Don't touch that dial. We're going to be back with more. Make your vision plain. And I want you to click and subscribe on YouTube. I want you to click and subscribe on YouTube. We have some awesome shows coming up that we don't want you to miss. Watch my book trailer. I want you to pick up a copy of my brand new book, Bruised to be Used.
Discover healing, purpose, and transformation with Pearl Hale's book, Bruised to be Used. You were meant to stay bruised. You were meant to be used. Purchase your copy today.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Pearl Hale Show Transformational Speaks. Life changes equals life transformation. I'm your host, Pearl Hale. I'm a life transformational coach. Thank you for watching. We're talking about making your vision plain. And all of us have a something that we want to do in life. All of us have a goal or some things that we want to accomplish. And we're talking about how important your vision is. I want to talk to you now about signs that your vision may not be clear. Well, number one, you feel stuck. Inconsistency, you start second guessing yourself. Should I make this move or shouldn't I make this move? Should I move here? Should I move there? When your vision is unclear, it'll keep you all over the place. You start things, but you don't finish. Now, it's a different if you're a real estate investor and let's say you have a project where you're building a series of homes, but it gets put on hold because you're waiting for something to clear with city contracts. That's different. Or you stop because something changed again. They are relocating. So that's why you didn't finish. But you don't finish because you start something that you had no clarity about and you just put it down. So you don't have time based on our age. When you're younger, you might have more time than when you're older. When you're older, you don't have a lot of time. So that's the importance of having a vision where I clearly need to be. If I want to be an engineer, I clearly should be around other engineers so we can learn from each other. If it's my vision to be a doctor, I need to write down what are the steps that I need to take. I need to go to school, how long. I need to know what type of doctor. Am I going to open my own practice? Or do I want to work with a particular hospital in a hospital setting? All these things you need to write down and make your vision clear. I want to help people heal from, I want to be a doctor to help people heal from what it is that you want to help them heal from, the various different diseases. Oh, what do I want to do on this earth to make my life fulfilling? I want you to click and subscribe. Don't touch that dial. We've got more. We're talking about making your vision plain. And when you're busy, but not making real progress, that's a sign that you don't have a clear vision. So I'm already always running around, but I'm in too many things. I got my hand in too many irons in the fire. And how many of us have been that way? I'm raising my hand, had too much going on. So it blocks your focus. So you have to be clear about your vision so you're not giving your time, all of your time, to things that are not in alignment with what you're called to do. And so, because when you waste time, days become months, months become years, and then stagnation sets in because you did not have a vision, so you didn't make it plain. So you have nothing to make plain, to write down. So you wrote it down, but you're not taking the actionable steps needed for your vision to come to pass because you're so busy involved in so much other stuff that has nothing to do with you. You're involved in so many things till you're overwhelmed. And you can't focus being overwhelmed. You can't accomplish things being overwhelmed. When you have a vision, You have to take it in parts. And that's why when it says, write it down so that those who read it may run. So when I read, okay, this is the first step I need to take. Find out what it is that I need to do if I want to be a doctor to get licensed in that field. How long is it going to take? I'm writing these things down. What do I need to do? I'm writing these down. Then at the same time, for my vision to come to pass, I'm making actionable steps. So I wrote down 3 schools. And if I graduated from school, so I want to open my practice. What are the steps that I need to take to have that come to pass? I may need to, if I'm new in medicine, I may want to work with a hospital at first to see how things are run. And then after that, then consider opening my practice. But I have those actionable steps. I'm learning as I go. And so each stage, I'm working my vision. I'm running with my vision. And I've made it plain. So I'm not going to spend 90% of my time trying to open up a restaurant when my vision is to open up my own practice as a doctor, if that's someone's vision. It's not my particular vision, but I'm giving you an example. And so you want to make sure that you clarify what it is that you want to do. Now, don't touch that dial. We're going to be back. We're going to talk about how do you get clear on your vision. You want to know, how do you get clear on your vision? We're going to talk about it. Don't touch that dial. We're going to be back in a moment with more. Make your vision plain. When you make that vision plain, it's going to come to pass. And it will be a blessing to you and to others. Because you got a great assignment in front of you. You have great things that you're assigned to do. And so don't touch that dial. We're going to come back with our last segment on Make Your Vision Plain. We'll be back with more.
Your best. So I'm asking you, I'm demanding from you, whatever it is in your life, give it your best. Not for me, not for a teacher, not for moms, not for you. Like, what you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Your best. Grind. Go all the way to graduation and be like, all right, that's one step. I'm up to the next. College, boom, I'm up to the next. Master's, boom, I'm up to the next. PhD, I'm up to the next. Anybody want to go to med school? Yeah, save my life, baby. Thank you. I want a doctor. Thank you. Your best. What does your best look like? And we haven't been able to answer that question. None of you, I would bet, can answer the question. Because we haven't asked ourselves that. We haven't given ourselves that opportunity to give our best.
Welcome back to the Pearl Hale Show. Transformational Speaks. Life changes equals life transformation. And I'm back. I'm your host, Pearl Hale. I'm a life transformational coach. We're talking about making your vision clear. And in this segment, we want to talk about how to get clarity on your vision. Sometimes we have to stop with the hustle and bustle and take time for self-reflection. You know, a lot of times we run around doing what other people want us to do. We live in a world where there's a lot of expectations on us. But have you taken the time to stop and think, What is it that I truly want? What is my goals and what is my vision for my life outside of others? Because if you live life for other people, your vision will become clouded. What is it that God has assigned me to do? And so we have to stop and reflect. I forgot who it was that said, you may not know what you want, but you got to know what you don't want. And I believe it was Mr. Steve Harvey who said that quote, because when you don't know what you want, as far as your vision is concerned, you're going to meander, you're going to be all over the place. 1 minute, you might want to be a doctor. 1 minute, you might want to be a lawyer. 1 minute, you might want to be a teacher. And so you really have to stay focused on what are some things that you're good at? Not Susie, not Sally, not May, not John. What are some things that you're good at? What is Pearl Hale assigned to do? That is my uh, assignment, my vision in life is to find out what are the things that God has called me? What is the vision that God has given me? And so when I know that, when I'm clear on that, I can think better and I can write down what is my vision, what actionable steps that I need to run with to make it come to pass. So I'm clear on what's the path that I have to take. I'm not relying on other people to make those decisions for me because I have clarity for myself. And so when I write it down, my vision becomes real when it's visible. You ever wrote something down and you said in 2 weeks, I want to purchase a new furniture set um, at a particular store, or I want to move in a new home in a particular state. And you wrote it down and you made it plain. And all of a sudden, you just see things come out in alignment. It all works out. It all come together because you made it clear about what your expectations were, what your aspirations are, what are the things that you want to do. You wrote down a clear vision and how you was going to get there. You also need to visualize your future on a daily basis. So if I want to open up a restaurant serving healthy foods, um, serving traditional foods with a healthier spin, if that's your goal, then you need to start visualizing that along with writing it down and having a vision for that, figuring out how you're going to execute it. And one of the biggest things that you have to do in getting clarity on your vision, you have to remove unnecessary distractions and outside noise. You are always going to have player haters, outside noise, people who don't believe in you. This is why God says, make it plain. Make it plain what you're assigned to do, not what others are assigned to do, what He's given you to do. Distractions come to block your focus. If you pay too much attention to what Sister Susie or Brother Billy thinks about you, you're not going to get anything done. You're not focused on your vision. You have to focus on your vision. Use wisdom in how you share your vision or who you're sharing it with, because you will have naysayers and you will have things, distractions to try to block your focus. And so that's why you have to be clear about what it is so you're not wasting time, too much time around people who are not in alignment with your assignment. You're not wasting a whole bunch of time doing things that's not helping you get to the vision that God's assigned you to do. And so you have clarity. So because you have clarity, now you can execute what you've written down through action. And a lot of times it's a lot of noise, because somebody's going to try to pull you this way. Somebody's going to try to pull you that way. Something is going to happen based on our level of sensitivity to distract us. But because you are clear about where it is you want to go, you can eliminate a lot of things. And so those of you're in a season of graduation. It's a good time in your life. If you don't already have a clear vision, to make a clear vision because you was called to do some great things in this world. You are called to be a great person on this earth. And so by having that vision and making it plain, you are moving in the direction that God wants you to take. In this season, woman of God, man of God, you need to run with that vision. You need to stay focused on that vision. Let the naysayers, leave them out of your ear. Let people think what they want to think. You're blessed and highly favored. You're a child of God. You're a winner and not a quitter. You're the head and not the tail, according to the word. You're above and not beneath. So when people come and they give you lip or they have a certain attitude, that's not on you, that's on them because you're focused on your vision. You're focused on doing positive things. So you don't have time to pick up things that are dead, pick up things that frustrate you. Now, there are seasons where you have to learn things. So whether you like it or not, it's part of your vision. You have to learn to be tolerant, even in difficult situations. You have to learn to let God transform you into the person He wants you to be so you don't walk out every time there's a problem. So you don't get distracted when your vision hasn't come to pass yet. You are a winner. And in this season, get clarity on your vision. Remove the distractions. We're going to come back with part two of making your vision clear. I'm your host, Pearl Hale. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we talked about a lot. And I want you to click and subscribe on YouTube. Click and subscribe on YouTube. Also, you can join us every Thursday for the Pearl Hale Show. Transformational Speaks. God is in the transformation. God is in the transformation. And you're watching the Pearl Hale Show. Thank you so much. I want to leave you with this last quote from the great Nelson Mandela. Action without vision is only passing time. Vision without action is merely daydreaming. But vision with action can change the world. That's a great quote from the great Nelson Mandela. And I want to thank you for watching the Pearl Hale Show Transformational Speaks. Life changes equals life transformation. Thank you. And I want you to pick up my vision. I had a vision years ago to write a book to help people who suffered from a lot of trauma called Bruised to be Used. God can actually take your bruises and you can become a powerful tool. It can be a powerful tool to be used to help others. I want you to pick up a copy of my book, Support the Pearl Hale Show, by just picking up a copy of my book. It will be on the screen. Thank you so much for watching the Pearl Hale Show. I'm Pearl Hale. Good night and God bless.
Discover healing, purpose, and transformation with Pearl Hale's book, Bruised to be Used. You were meant to stay bruised. You were meant to be used. Purchase your copy today.